Police officers have important roles in our society and should be viewed highly, such as doctors, lawyers, professors, and many more. Yet, why is the road to be a police officer so much easier than all these other fields? According to US Facts, published on September 23rd, 2020, it states that there are over 1 million police officers in the United States of America. With so many deaths accounted for and police brutality by police officers, this year alone is indescribable, which is why I believe new requirements should be added to be a police officer in the Los Angeles Police Department. According to the LAPD website, it states that one must be 20 and a half years old, must have a high school diploma or a GED, must be a US citizen, and finally must have a clean background. So in reality, anyone that could follow these simple requirements can be a police officer. I myself, and I'm sure including some of my peers, can be as well. I will be discussing the problem of how easy it is to be a police officer, the issue within the current requirements, and finding a solution that we can work together to make the requirements more efficient for the job. Now that we have a brief overview, let's discuss the problem. To be a police officer isn't that much difficult than what it is portrayed in movies and TV shows. To put things in perspective, you don't need a bachelor's degree. According to LAPD, it is not one single requirement. Now, according to an article, Law Enforcement Degrees and Police Careers, published on April 21st, 2019, it states, becoming a police officer doesn't rely heavily on formal education. A minimum of a high school diploma is the only requirement. Now, this is an issue because we have people with high school academic knowledge now becoming our police officers who are willing to protect our city. Okay? One upsetting point of view is that if an officer does have a bachelor's degree, they will receive a bonus. According to an article by salary.com, it shows a graph within where an officer with a degree can earn up to $5,000 to $8,000 bonuses. Getting the degree should be something that benefits you within your career and should be a requirement, especially within this type of field. It shouldn't be a bonus towards your annual salary. Now we discuss the problem, let's go into the adherency. Having the same requirements for so many years is going to have continuing issues within the law enforcement, such as police brutality, racism, and many more. By law enforcement having simple requirements, there's no growth for the individual before or after when he or she is a police officer. There are so many situations that can be dealt with simple communication skills that can be learned through schooling, yet they decide to turn to violence due to them knowing that better. At the current state, many people have lost their lives due to the undertraining by these police officers. Many police officers are not sure when and when not to use the use of force. Many events have occurred this past year, but the most famous one is Mr. George Floyd. In an article by Brad Pitt, CNN, published on June 24, 2020, he states Mr. George Floyd was killed due to the lack of training, and I quote, I bring this up because the training to have a knee on the neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds is unreal and unacceptable by all means necessary. The crime came to play due to a counterfeit bill that was allegedly fake, but which wasn't, and then somehow turned to the use of force, and then unfortunately the death of Mr. Floyd. Many stories such as noise complaints have turned deadly, or misidentification, whether he or she was the wrong person, lost their lives. The reason why people fear the police besides their state of name is also because many of them are not qualified to be a police officer. And we can tell within the line of duty when an officer is or is not. Now that I discussed adherency, let's find a solution together. Officers see and go through many things than any other jobs prepared in this world. Yet, how you go through things vary and everyone goes through them differently. which is why I feel officers should take psychological tests at least once a year to determine if they're still mentally stable within the field. Another is to help people with the mind and academic knowledge, so we make a requirement for a bachelor's degree, such as in crim, sociology, psychology, to help them prepare more within the field. The goal, and I quote from All Kinds of Therapy, published on October 31st, 2019. The goal assessment are to better understand a person's knowing the strengths and weaknesses. Police officers are just like any other human. They go home, they go to their family, and they try to live the life they desire. And finally, is another to make the age requirement to 22 years old, just because that's around the age estimate to receive your bachelor's degree and help you grow more of a mature mentality. To view what I said, to be a police officer is not as difficult as it should be due to the field it is. It has led to many wrongful events and not that much leadership amongst other officers. Finally, what we can touch is to be added. Finally, what touches can be added in which I feel like could help the law enforcement and prevent many future disinvolvements from, communicating and no many acts that needs to turn deadly. Thank you.